Thank you and welcome back to the show, Investigate with Me, and I am your host, Mimi. Wherever and whatever you're doing and you happen to tune in, don't forget to share with friends, family, coworker, gym mates, heck, anyone on the street that you have been listening to this girl named Mimi and her show was pretty good and maybe somebody would love to check it out. But however, before I begin this next case, please don't forget to click subscribe and turn on any of your notification button for future shows to come. Now, let us begin. The stalking death of Rebecca that changed the law. Late 1980s, young actress named Rebecca Lucille Schaeffer struggled to find her big break in show business. Born on November 6, 1967, making her a Scorpio, was the only child of a psychologist and a writer. Rebecca's beauty was known to have landed her on the cover of Seventeen magazine. She was at the beginning of a promising career as an actress when an unemployed man from Tucson, Arizona, developed an obsession which took her life in the year of 1989. Rebecca could not afford a phone then when her agent had tacked a note to her apartment door telling her to report to the set of My Sister Sam, her breakthrough role starring the opposite of Pam Dawber of Mork and Mindy show. She moved from New York to California and rented an apartment in Fairfax district of LA building 120 North, where she actually chose to live a quiet life alone. Robert John Bartle. Robert John Bartle was the youngest of 7 siblings, son of a former Air Force officer. He grew up in Tucson, Arizona, but yet was known to be subjected to a long history of physical and mental abuse. One of his teachers had stated that Bartle was a ticking time bomb on the verge of exploding. At the age of 13, Bartle took a bus to search for Samantha Smith, the child that actually became famous for sending a letter to Mikhail Gorbachev. Authorities found him and returned him back to Tucson. Bartle has a history of writing threatening letters to his teachers. He was later then hospitalized twice due to what they had called, quote, a severe emotional damages. At the age of 16, Bartle worked as a janitor for a fast food restaurant and found a better reality to escape to. In 1986, Bartle became a fan of My Sister Sam. Bartle was particularly obsessed with the character Patty, played by Rebecca Schaeffer. He built a shrine to her in his bathroom. An obsessed fan. Bartle wrote letters to Rebecca. Rebecca stated that his letters was the, quote, most beautiful that she had ever received. On her letter, she actually had drew a peace sign, heart, that had said, with love from Rebecca. The day Bartle received her letter, he wanted to be famous so bad just to impress her. June 1987, Bartle arrived at Burbank Studio Gates where Sister Sam was.
Hi, I'm Patty Russell, and this is my sister Sam. I just moved in.
We haven't lived together since we were kids.
I was raised by our aunt and uncle.
Yeah, things sure have changed. I used to dress her. I can't wear this out in public.
This makes up for the haircut you gave me when I was 3.
Bouquet of roses for Rebecca. Not allowed to enter, Bartle returned a month later with a knife and was once again denied entry. In his diary, Bartle wrote, I don't lose, period. When Bartle returned to Tucson, he later saw a film in the Beverly Hills starring Rebecca in a bed scene with a male actor. This upset Bartle. Bartle decided that Rebecca must be punished for her immortality. He drew a picture of Becca's body and marked spot where he planned to shoot her. He asked his older brother, Edgar, to purchase him a gun. Bartle, at the age of 21, sent enormous amount of love letters to Rebecca's TV show, Amazing Stories, My Sister Sam, and One Life to Live. His room was covered with women that he actually lusted for. Wow, this is truly sad story. Anyway, let's continue. I just had to interrupt that because that was very devastating. But he then later mailed a letter to his sister in Tennessee stating that he could not live without Rebecca. This is a clear sign of obsession all day. But, however, didn't seem like anybody took any action to question what was going on with Bartle as far as his mental health is concerned. So because nobody didn't question it, Bartle then took a bus from Tucson to Hollywood to find Rebecca. $250 to find Rebecca's address. July 17, 1989, Bartle contacted Rebecca's agent to get information as to where Rebecca lived. Her agent refused. Bartle showed Rebecca's picture to passerbys on the street to find her address. Now, here's the kicker to this story. If that was possible, how come nobody didn't notify the police? But I guess, some people just didn't want to get involved, which I guess is understandable. But let's continue on investigating her story, shall we? Bartle later eventually paid a detective $250 to find her address. And also, what I had researched, he also paid $1 to the DMV to then get further information of her address. July 18, 1999. Bartle obtained Rebecca's address from the detective. Intercom was not working, so Rebecca answered the front door where Bartle stood. Ignoring Bartle, Bartle left to order onion rings and cheesecake at Jane's restaurant at 8424 Beverly Boulevard in LA. However, it was reported an hour later, Bartle returned to Rebecca's home again. She had a kid's voice.
Including a videotaped interview with a psychiatrist in which he details the story of his love-hate obsession with the actress.
Most important thing in my life. And I feel desperate to try grab on the trigger. This. The blood hit her, blood spurted out. And she was just screaming. Oh my God, just, oh no. She was going, why? She's screaming. She's just straight screaming. Why?
No matter what the judge ultimately decides, Robert Bardo's lawyer is certain of this.
In my opinion, his life is over, just as Rebecca Schaefer's life.
A neighbor, Richard Goldman, heard 2 gunshots and screams. He rushed to Rebecca's house and found her in a black robe, twitching with no pulse. Witnesses stated that they saw Bartle jogging away on the Hollywood block into an alley and then disappeared. Rebecca was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead 30 minutes later. The next day in Tucson, several motorists called 911 to report a man running into traffic on Interstate 10. He appeared to attempt suicide by running into traffic. It was Bartle, and when he was arrested, he confessed to the murder of Rebecca. I could probably tell you what I did to kill her, how I got sick and all, but I don't feel like it. A year after the slaying, Bartle reported that I was a fan of hers and I may have carried it too far. Convicted of capital murder in a non-jury courtroom, Bartle was sentenced to life without parole on December 20th, 1991. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you and know what you think. And once again, thank you for tuning in with me, investigating with me, and I am your host, Mimi.